So hi guys. So today we'll discuss on smart forms. So what is a smart form in SAP? So smart forms are used to design print layouts. Smart forms are used to design print layouts. Anything which we need to print in the SAP. For example, sales order, purchase order, bill, billing document, right? So these kind of documents will be printed using smart forms. So what is the transaction code to check purchase order?
S11.
What is S11?
ME22, 21N.
ME23N to display and
20.
check the order. S11 is for data dictionary where we can check the tables. Yeah, we can check the purchase order tables also, but that is not the transaction code for purchase orders, right? So purchase order transaction codes are ME20, 23, 21N, 22N and 23N. 23N is for display. There we are able to see the records, right? But if we need some printable format, printable output with some logo, company name, address, and the transaction details, header data, item level data, and total amount, net quantity, tax amount, etc. And at the end, terms and conditions. How can you design that print output? When we click on print, it should create one printout. That printout should contains like this: a logo, company address, and the transaction details. So how can we design that print output? By using smart forms. So we have other concept called Adobe Forms also, right? We can also use Adobe Forms. Adobe Forms are advanced than smart forms. We'll discuss once we have completed the smart forms concept. Okay. So when you go to some shopping or somewhere, if you purchase something and paid the amount, what they'll give you?
Bill.
Bill, right? They'll give you a bill.
Billing pay.
Billing.
They'll take some printout and they'll give you some bill, right? If you observe that bill, it will be in some formatting, right? There will be one logo,
Yes.
there will be some company details, right? In specific area, they are going to print your transactions, like what are the items you purchased, and in one specific area, they are going to display total amount, and in one specific area, they are going to display is there any discount available, and at the end, they'll display terms and conditions, right? If you can return the product or not, right? What are the terms and conditions of the product? Everything they'll mention right at the end.
Sir.
How they are
Yes,
going
sir.
to design that? How they are going to
Yes, sir.
design that print layout? Where we need to print the logo, where we need to display the address, where we need to display the data like transactions. So they are going to use some tool to design that print layout. In SAP, what we are going to use to, to design the print layout?
Forms.
Smart forms or Adobe forms also we can use.
Smartphones.
Okay. So from where the data is going to be populated? From SAP tables only. Okay. Only thing you are going to learn here is designing the layout. Remaining concepts are same. How to write the select statements, loop, read statements, data declarations. If you know how to call function modules, how to write select statements, how to define the data objects. Only thing you are going to learn here is how to design the layout. How to design the layout. Layout designing we are going to learn here. Okay. So how the smart forms will work? If you assume this is the smart form, if you assume this is the smart form, so we are going to read data from database, nothing but database tables. For example, we are displaying purchase order data smart form, purchase order output. What we are going to do? We are going to select data from purchase order related tables in a program, and we are going to pass the data to smart form. How we can pass the data? Through function
Functional
module.
module.
Function model.
Through function module, we can pass the data to the smart form, because whenever you create a smart form, it will automatically generate one function module. Okay, whenever you create a smart form, a function module will be automatically generated for the smart form. We are going to pass the data what we need to display in the smart form through that function module importing parameters. Okay, clear? You guys know how to create a report program, right?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So here we are going to create a program in SC38. We are going to select the data. Till now what you are doing after selecting the data? After the data selection, what you are doing now, like in the previous programs? Nothing.
We call function modules or class methods, sir.
Okay, using function modules and class methods to read the data from the database tables and selected the data. What is the next step you are doing?
Display
Displaying the
Displays.
create
output
internal
in the
tables.
form of ALV reports. You are displaying the
ARV reports.
data in the ALV reports after selecting the data, right? In smart farms, in smart farms, when we are creating a custom smart farm, until data selection, it is same. You need to select data from different tables and collect the data into one final output. When we are working with smart farm, instead of calling the ALV report, what you are going to call? Smart farm function module. Okay. So instead of calling the ALV report, you are going to display that output in a smart form print layout. Okay, right?
Okay, sir.
We are going to create we are going to create program if it is a custom form or custom logic. If it is a standard logic, for example, you need to add print layout to purchase order transaction code. What is the transaction code for purchase order?
ME21N. N.
ME23N. Now we need to add print layout to the ME23N. Is it a standard transaction code or custom transaction code?
Standard.
ME23N is a
Standard.
standard transaction code,
Stand.
right? Now, if it is a standard transaction code, you don't need to create this program. This is called driver program. You don't need to create the program. Just you need to configure your new smart farm in which transaction code? NACE. You just need to configure it. That's it. You don't need to write single piece of code. If it is for standard transaction codes, most of the times you don't need to write any code. You just need to pass the smart farm name in the NACE transaction code. If it is a custom one, if it is a custom one, you need to create one report program. There you need to select the data, and you need to call smart farm function module in the program to generate the smart farm print output. Clear? If it is a standard transaction code, where you need to configure the smart farms?
NAC. NAC.
NAC.
NACE.
Here we have output types, right? So here we configure particular smart form for the corresponding output type. If it is a purchase order, we have a specific output type. If it is a sales order, we have specific output type. So we configure smart form in the relevant output type so that it will print the output whenever you click on print in that standard transaction code. Okay. So what are the different types of print outputs? So we have SAP scripts, that is older concepts, like no one is using in these days SAP scripts. Even smart forms also we are using in like in old projects we are using smart forms. In most of the new projects, what we are using? Adobe forms.
Adobe Forms.
Okay, but we need to learn smart forms as well. But still there are many projects using smart forms. Once we understand the smart forms, then we will discuss on Adobe forms. So I'll give you some basics to on SAP scripts. What is the transaction code for SAP scripts? SC71.
SC71.
SC71, right? So these are the first print layout concept introduced by SAP to design any print layouts. Okay, they are older concepts. No one is using in these days in the new projects, right? So what about the object? Like scripts are client dependent. Scripts are client dependent. For example, in development environment, if you did changes in one client, those changes will not be automatically available in other client. Okay, what you need to do to copy the changes? What is the transaction code we need to use to copy the changes? SCC1.
SCC1.
You need to use,
SCC1.
yeah, you need to use the transport request number to copy changes from one client to other client. Okay. So, but in scripts, right, we cannot print the output in colors. It won't support color printing. It won't support any background images. Okay. And it won't support any table format data, tabular data, right? And how can you call the script, SAP script, using function modules? There are three function modules to call the SAP scripts. What are those? Open form, write
Open
form,
form,
and close
write
form.
form, close form.
By using these three function modules, we can call the SAP script in your program. Okay. We have a concept of windows in print layouts. We have a concept of windows in print layouts. There are different types of windows. One specific window contains fixed width. It won't change. If we define some size, it won't change or it won't expand automatically. For example, if you take main window here I have defined about main window, right? The property of main window is if you are displaying some data in that main window, it will automatically expand. Depends on the data. Okay. If there is more data, it will automatically expand to the second page, third page, fourth page, like that. When we are using main window, other windows cannot expand. They are with the fixed width. Okay. So how many main windows we can use in scripts?
One main window.
One is mandatory and we can use up to 99 main
99.
windows.
99.
So it's an important interview question. What is the difference between script and smart forms? Even though we are not using scripts, they'll in some interviews they'll ask what is the difference between scripts and smart forms. In scripts, no color printing possible, no background images possible. We cannot display data in
We
tabular
can't
format,
discriminate it.
and main window is mandatory. We can use up to 99 main windows, right? So what are the function modules we use to call the scripts? Open form, write form, and close form. Okay, these three function modules we call in the program to generate the print output. Program nothing but our SC38 program. You are not going to write any separate kind of program. Okay. Until data selection, everything is same. Okay, loops, read, whatever logic you can implement, you can implement. Let's come back to smart forms. What is the transaction code to execute the smart forms? Smart forms.
Smart
Smart
forms.
forms is the transaction code. Okay, so client scripts are client independent or client dependent? Scripts
Client
are
dependent.
client
Client
dependent.
dependent.
Scripts are
Yes.
client dependent. So the changes will not be automatically applied to all the clients in the system. You need to copy using SCC1. But smart forms are client independent. If you do any changes in one client, those changes will be automatically applicable to all the clients. When you compare smart forms with SAP scripts, smart forms are user friendly or developer friendly. Right? Smart forms are developer friendly. It contains one graphical screen where we can design the layout easily when you compare with the scripts. Okay. So whenever you create a smart form, it will generate one function module. Okay. To call the smart form, what we need to do? To call the smart form, what we need to do? We need to call we need to call the function module in
Function.
our program. Here driver program nothing but your report program. Please remember. Here we talk about driver program. That is nothing but your SC38 report program. No difference. Okay. But here when you are working with smartphone, we call that as driver program.
Driver.
Okay. So here smart forms can print text in colors, and we can also display background images. Okay. Smart forms can print colors in text, and we can also display background images. Also, we have tabular format. We can display data in tabular formats in smartform. You can create a table and display the data in tabular format, just like ALV output, tabular output. Okay. How to call smartform in your program, driver program? How to call the smartform in the driver program?
Function module.
We need to call the function
Using system.
module that is generated for the smartform, right? But here we have a separate process to call the function module. To call the SmartForm function module in driver program, we need one special function module that is SSF underscore function underscore module underscore name. To call the SmartForm function module, before calling the SmartForm function module, we need to call this function module, SSF function module name. What is the input for this function module? Smart form name. We need to pass smart form name, and what it will return as output? Function module that is
Function module.
generated for the smart form. Okay. So when we call this function module SSF function underscore module name, we need to pass the smart form name. Once we pass the smart form name, it will return a function module name as a output. We need to call the function module which is returned from the smart form. Okay, which is returned by this function module. Clear? We are not going to call the SmartForm function module directly in the program. There is some special reason why we use this SSF function module name to call the SmartForm function module. Because once you created the SmartForm, what will happen? It will automatically generate one function module, right? It will generate one function module when you create one SmartForm automatically. How that name will be assigned? SmartForm name, sorry, SmartForm function module name. It will use some sequence number to generate the smart form function module name. It will generate some sequence number to generate the smart form function module when you create the smart forms in development system. So once the development is completed, to which system you need to move that smart form changes?
QA system.
Test system or QA system. Once you move these changes to the QA system, right, what will happen? in test system, it will generate one more function module that is depends on the sequence number available in test system. So the function module generated in development system is different, and the function module generated in test system is different, right? And then you transported the smart form to the production system. What will happen? It will generate a other name, a different name in a production system. So the function module generated in development, test and development are, sorry, production are not same. It generates
Separate.
different names in the different servers for the same smart form, right? For that reason, if you call the smart form function module directly, what will happen? Once you move the changes to the test system, can we find the function module name which we used in the development system in test system?
No.
No,
We can't.
no. In test system, it will generate a different name. So
New
when
one.
you call the when you call function module name directly in the program, what will happen? In test system, that function module is not available. So your program will go to runtime errors because whatever the function module you are calling is not available in the test system, right? That's why we don't call the function module directly. First we call SSF function module name and we pass the smart form name as input and it will return function module name as output. And we are going to call the function module which is returned as output in the program so that we don't need to worry about the function module name. It will automatically fetch the function module name available in that particular server. Okay, clear?
Okay, sir.
So in smart forms, we have four different types of windows. We have four different types of windows. What are they? Main window,
Main
Main
window,
window, secondary
secondary
window,
window,
final window,
final
copy
window,
windows.
window,
final window,
and
office window.
office
Office
window.
window.
Why we have these different windows? So what is the use of these windows? So windows are used to display some data in the print layout. Windows are used to display some data in the print layout. For example, to display logo, we use one window. To display address, we use one separate window. To display the transactions, we use one separate window, right? So each window has its own purpose. If you take main window, what is the property of main window? Main window will automatically expand to the next page.
Expand.
Depends on the data, right? What about secondary window? Secondary
Fixed
window
with
cannot
range.
expand. It contains fixed width. Fixed width. Once you define some size for that window, it cannot expand further. Whatever the data available, we can display only within that size. Okay. We can also say for what is the secondary main window. Main window is for continuous output. Continuous output depends on the data. Okay, depends on the data. It will automatically expand. Okay, secondary window, fixed, fixed with output.
Zone answer.
What is final window? Final window will execute. It is also kind of secondary window. It is also kind of secondary window with fixed width. Okay, but when this final window will execute? After executing all the windows. So when this final window will be executed? After processing of the all other windows like main window, secondary window and copies window. Usually we use this to print the totals like grand totals. Once the all windows are processed, this final window logic will be executed. Okay. So before ending the processing, this final window will be executed. What is copies window? So copies window we use to print multiple copies of the same document. For example, one original copy and multiple duplicate copies. For example, one print is for the manager and that is original print, and the remaining prints are duplicate prints. We are going to send it to different departments. In the original print, we mark it as original. In the remaining copies, we mark that as duplicates.
Duplicate.
Right? To achieve that functionality, what are the windows we use?
Copies window.
Copies window. We use copies window. This is very important interview question. Different types of windows. Main window is for continuous output. It will automatically expand to the next page. Secondary window is a fixed width window. For example, to print logo, to print address, to print any fixed width data. What is the type of window we can use?
Secondary window.
Secondary window. To print data that should be automatically expand to the second page. What is the type of the window we need to use?
Main window.
Main window.
Main window.
How many main windows we can use? Is it mandatory to have a main window in SmartForm? In script, main window is mandatory.
No.
In
Yes, sir.
SmartForms, main window is not mandatory. If you want, you can use. Otherwise, you can remove the main window. If you want to display any continuous data, you can use main window. Otherwise, you don't need to use main window. Okay? Clear? So here, to print the logos, to work with the logos, we have a special transaction code. What is the transaction code? SC78.
SC78.
Here, we maintain the logos. We upload the new logos. So we use same logos in the SmartForms to display it in the output. Okay. To display the logo, what is the prerequisite? That logo should be maintained in SC78 transaction code. Okay. Let me show you one SmartForm. What is the transaction code for SmartForms?
SC78.
What is it?
Smartphones.
SmartForms.
Smartphones.
SmartForms is the transaction code. SC78 is to maintain the logos. Okay, not the
Okay.
SmartForms. SmartForms is the transaction code. So this is the smart form editor, right, where you can create new smart forms or change the existing smart forms. Style and text modules, we'll discuss that later. Let me create one sample smart form, simple smart form, z demo underscore first form, create. Observe each option very carefully. Observe here, observe in the right side what you can observe. What you can observe here, smart form name. Inside that,
Form name.
we have global settings. We have global settings. Form attributes. First check what are the form attributes. Form attributes are nothing but when the form is created, who created it, in which language, translation option. Do we need to automatically convert this form into any other languages? Here we need to define that language translation option. SAP supports automatic language translation, right? For example, if you design the smart form in English, do you want to translate this smart form into any other language automatically? That option you need to provide here into select into all languages or into selected languages, or do not translate into any other language. Language translation is also very important when you are working with forms, okay, because we are not going to create a new smart form for each language, right? For example, your company is in 50 countries, 50 countries using 50 different languages. Do we need to create 50 different smart forms? Each smart form for
Each
one
no. Each
language?
smartphone for one language.
That is not needed.
That is
Okay,
not
we
needed.
can automatically convert that form into different languages by using language translation. Here you need to provide that option. So now currently by default it is selected to all languages. Okay, what are the other options in form attributes? Output option. Go to output option. What is the page format you want to print? Is it letter? Is it A4 paper? Is it A3 paper? Like that. Whoever familiar with the MS Word, right? You might see this page formatting, right? Page layout. In which page layout you want to print this output? If you click on F4, you can see different page formats here. A4, A5, executive. You can find the same similar things in MS Word, right? Letter. Depends on your selection, our layout will be printed. The character per inch and like spacing. What is the spacing you want to maintain in the form? Lines per inch, paragraph space, right? All these things you need to define here. Clear? Those are available in form attributes. Now go to form interface. What you can find in form interface? What you can find in form interface? Import,
Import,
export,
export.
tables, exceptions. Is it familiar for you?
Yes, sir.
Function module.
Where
Yes,
you have
sir.
observed this?
In function module.
In
Function
function modules you
modules.
have observed, right? So form interface is similar to your function module. Form interface contains import, export and tables and exceptions. So whatever the parameters you define in form interface will be reflected in a function module, which will be generated after creating the smart form. Okay, clear? Import parameters. If you know how to define import parameters in function modules and class methods, it is same. If you want to display single value, single field, define variable kind of input. If you want to display complete record, define work area like
Okay.
structure. If you want to display tabular data, define
Internal.
internal table like structure using table type. Or you can also use tables. Instead of using tables, you can use a table type here to define the internal table like structure. Whatever you define in importing parameter, you can pass these inputs in the program when you call the function module. Okay, whatever the data you need to pass to the form, you need to define that in import. What is export? If you want to return any data, if you want to return any output to the program, there are some standard outputs. There are some standard outputs like print parameters and everything. Along with that, if you want to display any, if you want to return any custom output, you need to define in export. In import also we have standard importing parameters. Most of them are optional. All of them are optional. So if you want to pass any special print parameters, you need to pass these outputs like user settings, output options and everything. Okay. Exceptions. You know what is exceptions, right? If you want to raise any exceptions, we have standard exceptions here. And if you want to raise any custom exceptions, define the exceptions here. Okay. So where can you find these options? In a form
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 interface.
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 Form interface. So whatever the parameters you are going to define in form interface will be reflected in a function module. Okay. If you want to pass any data to the smart form from the program, you need to use a form interface. Next one, global definitions. Global definitions. What is global definition? If you want to define anything, any work area like structure, internal table like structure, variables locally in the smart form level, where you can define in the global
Global
definitions.
definition.
Global.
You can define any variables, work areas, internal tables. Here in the global definitions, which are local to the form. Okay. Whatever you are defining in the form interface, these are going to be reflected in the function module. You can pass it as importing and exporting parameters, but global definitions are local to the form. Okay. If you want to handle any logic locally, you can use this. Okay. Clear? If you check in global definitions, you can find initialization. In initialization, you can write ABAP statements here. If you want to write any code locally in the smart form, you can write in initialization and form routines. Okay. If you want to write any ABAP code in the form level, in the smart form level, you can write in code initialization. Okay. Clear? But usually we write all the business logic in the program and we just pass the data to the form, final data to the form. Okay. It is recommended to write all the business logic in the program and just pass that data to form. Don't write any complex business logic in the form. Okay. In the smart form level because of the performance issues. Okay. Clear? Sometimes we do write in the code initialization, whatever that logic we need to perform. We can use global definitions. Where can we write code in smart forms? Global definitions,
Global
initialization,
definitions. Global definition. Initialization.
normal ABAP statements, whatever you have practiced till now, you can apply here. Okay. Now go to pages, go to pages and windows. It is automatically created one page, page one. Let me change the description of the form. It is automatically created one page, and inside the page it is automatically created which window? One main
Main.
window.
Main.
Is it mandatory to have main window in SmartForms?
No,
No,
sir.
no, sir.
It is not mandatory. If you don't want, you can delete this. Page, it is automatically create one page. If you want, you can change the page name. Page 1. Change the description of the page. Okay. Go to output options of the page. Go to output options of the page. Portrait, landscape. You know, right? How you want to display this page? How you want to print this page? In portrait format or landscape format? You know, right? What is portrait and landscape? Vertical and horizontal. How you want to print this page? Okay. This option we can select here. And if you want to add any background picture, do you want to add any background picture like watermark logo? You can add here in the page. From where you can add this pictures or logos?
Our logos.
What is the transaction code?
What's the
SC78.
transaction code?
SC78.
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 Let me go to
SC78.
SC78 and add one logo. Let me find any existing logos in SC78. Now I am in SC78. Administration of form graphics. Now go to graphics. Select bitmap images. Which image you want to find? Do you want to find color bitmap images or black and white? I want to find color bitmap images. All the existing bitmap images should be available here. Select color as well and just search for all the existing bitmap images. So these are all the available images. Someone has already maintained this along with the standard ones. Just check one image. Just check this Z logo. Click on this. This is the logo. Someone has uploaded this logo. Okay. Someone has already uploaded this logo. Let me check more logos. If you want, you can also upload your own logo. Check. There is one more logo, custom logo. Check what is it. I think that is also same. They have uploaded same logo. If you want to upload your own logo, what you need to do? Design your own logo. I'm just designing some sample logo in MS Paint. Usually in projects, so they'll provide the logo what we need to use, and most of the times those logos will be already added to the SC78. We just need to use it. Some logo, save as bitmap image in the server. You need to do it in the server. Okay. Saving on the desktop. Okay, let me save it on the desktop. So bitmap image is saved. Now let me create my own image in the SC78 so that I can use it in the SmartForms. Click on this, import, click on the import option and F4 and select the logo. I've saved it on the desktop, right? Select this, selected, provide the logo name, provide the logo name. For example, Z my logo. Okay. Is it color or black and white? It's a color bitmap image. Continue, allow, allow to upload. My logo is uploaded. What is my logo name? Z my logo. Okay. Now go to the form. Here click on F4. If you know your logo name, just enter here and search. Otherwise, select color bitmap image and search for everything. Here it will display all the available logos. This is the logo, right? I've created.
Yes, sir.
Select this. So it will automatically populate that. It's a color bitmap image. If you want to adjust the size, if you want to adjust the size of the logo, you can use this resolution option. Like it will display in DPI pixels. Okay, you can adjust this like 100, 50, depends on the size you want to display, you can adjust this. Okay, clear? This is how you can add background images in the page. Now go to the main window. This is main window. If you want a main window, you can use this as a main window. Otherwise, you can change it to a different window. Click on the window, double click on the window. By default, what is the type selected? It is
Main
selected
window.
as main
Main
window. If
window.
you want to
Main
change
window.
it to a different type, change it to secondary window, copies window, or final window. Or I'm deleting this. Create your own window. Right click on the page, create window. Depends on your choice. Select relevant window. What is the window you wanted to use? Okay, clear?
Okay, sir.
Now, how can we design this? How can we design this layout? Before that, observe the options in window output. These are the general outputs. You can see the window type. Go to output options. In output options, you can define margins. Do you want any margins to the window? What is the width? What is the height of the window? Right? And what is the color you want to see? You can also apply box and shading, like box typed display. You can apply colors and shading. You can use that options in output options. Go to conditions. When we use these conditions, for example, I need to display data, some data in only specific condition, right? I need to display data in only some certain specific condition. How can you do that? We can use conditions. We can add that condition to the window. So if that condition is true, then only the data in the window will be displayed. Otherwise, it won't display that. How can you achieve that? By using conditions. For example, like this ls underscore data hyphen bookers. Bookers means company code, right?
Yes, sir.
Company code equal to 100. Then only display this data available in the window. Right? This kind of conditions you can add in the conditions. I'm deleting this for now. How can you adjust the layout and how can you design it? Here you can see form painter. Click on the form painter. To hide it, you can click on the form painter. If you display the form painter again, click on Form Painter. It is very important tool in the SmartForms to design the layout. Drag this to here. What is this? What is this already displaying? That is our background image, right? We have added it as a background image. This window you can drag and drop. Sorry, you can drag where you want to display this data, where in which position you want to display this data. You can expand the size also. It's a secondary window, right?
Yes, sir.
Secondary
Yes,
window.
sir.
Now, this is the background image. This is the page background image. Now, let me add some logo to my print layout. How can you add the logos? In window, right click on the window, create graphic. Right click on the window and create the graphic. Go to graphic, go to general attributes, provide the graphic name, what you want to display. Simple. That should be available in SC78. Go to your SC78. I'll select SAP test. Okay. That logo should be displayed in the window. You can also add multiple text, tables, templates, different things in the same window. Okay. How can you adjust the layout of the window? You can go to Form Painter and adjust it where you want to display, in which position. Okay. Clear? For example, I need to display some text. Right click. I'll create a new window. Right click on the page, create window. For all the transactions, if you want to display all the transactions, take this as a main window. Okay. But currently I'm not displaying any transactions. I will display some text. Adjust the size and right click on the window, create some text. I will display some text, some data. Text is created. Allow this. Drag this out. Now it will automatically display text type as text element. Text element. It will automatically display the word editor. If you want to display some static text, static hard coded text, you can type this here. You can directly type here. This is first smart form. Like that you can type any data you want. But if you want to display it from the table, or if you want to display it from the importing parameters of the function module, for that we need to follow different procedure. We need to use symbols, text symbols. We'll see that in the next session. So, right, I'm displaying some text here. That's it for now. We'll just save it and activate the form. So this is my window. I want to display in this position. Save the form. Save in the package. For now I'll save it in the local object. Check the form. Is there any syntax errors? So what it is saying, a page without a main window cannot point to itself. So why we are using next page as page 1? To repeat it, to repeat the output to the next page. For that, since we don't have any main window, it's not going to repeat the output, right, to the next page. That's why I've deleted next page option. Check the syntax. No syntax errors. Activate the form. Smart form is activated. Now how to test this smart form? Execute this. If you want to test the smart form, execute here. Execute this. What you can see here, once you execute it,
Function model. Once you execute,
this is the function module generated for smart form. You need to call this smart form function module in your program. But can we directly call this function module in our program?
no.
No, we have to use
No, sir.
No, we have to use
SSF function module name to call
yes,
the
function model.
module name. To test here, you can directly execute the function module. Execute the function module to test the smart form. No need to provide all these inputs. Just execute now for testing. Output device. Usually we provide the printer name here. In which printer you want to print this output. Select LP01, and if you want to print, you can click on print. Just click print preview. I'll show you what will happen after you click on print in the next session. Select print preview. Select the output device as LP01. There is some issue in the graphic. Error when accessing graphic. BTS. Maybe let me change the graphic name in the form. I've selected some standard graphic name. Looks like that is causing some issue here in the text. Where is it? Here, right? The logo. Instead of this, I'll just take, what is the logo we have taken? Z my logo. We have created this. Let me take the same logo. It is color bitmap image. Activate the form. Test the form. Sorry, I clicked on where is the list. Cancel this. Execute the form function module. Execute the function module. Print preview. I have to adjust this. I have to adjust this in the layout. So this is our background image. We have to adjust this background image to somewhere here in the middle of the page. This is our logo, but I am using same for both, right? This is my text, whatever I am printing in the form level, right? This is our smart form output. How to call this smart form in your program? For now, I'll just show you. Just create a sample program, SC38. Create the program. So when we are working with smart forms, right? What do we call this? We call this as a driver program. But, but don't confuse, it is just a report program, whatever you created till now. Initialization at selection screen. Simple, same thing, but I'm not writing any logic here. I'm just calling the smart form name. How to call the smart form? Copy that
SSF.
function, copy that smart form function module which is generated. Yeah, we'll see that SSF later. First, just see how can we call smart form. So this is the smart form. I'm not passing any. I did not define any importing parameters, right? That's why I'm not passing anything. Just activate this. But this is not how we should call the smart form. It will work. It will work in development system. But when you transport it in the this program to the test system, it's not going to work because function module name generated for that smart form in test system will be different. It will just use some sequence number. Okay. Now execute the program. Same, right? It is generating smart form output when I executed the program. This is how we can call the smart form in the programs. But before that, we need to use SSF underscore function underscore module name to get the function module name. But because we don't know what is the function module name available in test system, that's why we should not use this function module name directly in the program. Okay. Before that, we need to call SSF FM. Okay. Clear?
Okay, sir.
Just try creating any basic smart form, and in the next session we'll see all the options available in smart forms designing. Okay.
Okay.
Everyone clear?
Yes, sir.